Hi, my name's Jane Glavan and I'm the co-owner of Distant Imagery. We're based in the Middle East in the United Arab Emirates in Dubai, and we're so sorry that we can't be there to chat with everyone in person, but we appreciate your time in looking at this presentation, and we definitely hope that we can connect via the app, the NOAA app, or through our contact details. So thank you so much. We look forward to chatting about community-based, ecologically driven mangrove restoration by drones over the next 10 minutes. We're very pleased and very proud that we're actually the first globally to have a successful drone restoration program and projects, and that they've been running for the last 3 years. But we're the first in the world to utilize a mechanical push system as part of that. And so we really look forward to chatting. So one of the reasons that we really started looking at mangrove restoration and at a large scale using drones is really that it supports multiple national targets and local targets. It supports communities, it supports ecosystem services. So really looking at, for instance, UN SDGs, mangrove restoration through drones helps support goals 13, 14, 15, and 17, because it's not only looking at restoration itself, the mangrove area, but it's also supporting fisheries, it's supporting conservation of the area and biodiversity, you're supporting communities and their livelihoods, you're incorporating technology. So really it crosses multiple themes and you reach several commitments holistically through doing something like this. There's also such challenges such as the World Economic Forum 1 Trillion Trees Initiative. So it's an essential part of addressing multiple national goals and helping communities all together with the use of technology. So an essential part of our success of what we've been looking at over the last 3 to 4 years of our restoration at multiple scales is really essentially down to the fact that we take an ecologically driven mangrove restoration approach, where in nature trees don't grow in lines, do they? So why are we also growing trees in lines? So through site selection methodology, where we're taking the best data that we can achieve through health indexes of our drones, with soil depth, with elevation change, with tidal change, all this data together, and essentially with community expert opinion as well, as they live and thrive in these areas. This all together creates planting patterns where we're following natural sways of the inundation of the land. So we're really looking at land dictates how we plant. This ecologically based methodology also continues to the way that we collect the seeds and the way that we germinate the seeds and work with communities to do so. So what does this methodology look like actually in the field? So we do, as I said, a lot of effort towards a site selection, a flight planning. We go through and select the seeds and germinate them and create we have several years of best practices in seed ball making. We have our drones that lead the restoration in multiple waves, sometimes in drone swarms, depending on the land area and the requirement of how many seeds that we'll be planting. So we plant those seeds with the drones, and then most importantly, we also do monitoring, and we look at the seedling success rate by each seed itself, rather than extrapolating from a plot area. We actually look at each seed and how well they're growing. And then we replenish the following years in the areas that made the most sense, where the soils are being really strengthened, where the seedlings are growing nice and strong in situ. So there's very stable success rate through each of the seasons because they are growing in situ. So from a drone perspective, we utilize our self-engineered multi-copter heavy lift drones that are purpose-built for restoration. as well as some backup of other more off-the-shelf drones as need be as well. And so these are attached with a modular rigging that we have self-engineered here at Distant Imagery. And those modules are based on which type of soil characteristic is on the site. That defines which of these modules we'll be utilizing for the drone seed dropping. And so mostly we do use motorized launcher module. And so we can drop about 2,000 seeds in roughly 8 minutes. For a heavy lift drone, it's 8,000 seeds for about 8 minutes again. And so this can be upscaled when you talk about drone swarms. But really what's most important here, as always, is actually what the land can have, how many seeds can you plant in that area, and the use of mixed seeds as well, so you're replicating nature, so you don't want monoculture restoration. So you're really following these riggings that we built, can plant from halophytes, tiny seeds, all the way up to larger seeds as well, and seed balls, so that you're replicating the natural site as best as possible. So an area of distant imagery, and something that we really believe in, and is why we're so excited to talk to everybody during this conference, is really that we wanted to have the democratization of technology and restoration, putting this technology, our rigging, the methodology of ecologically driven methodology into communities' hands. So what we're trying to do, and trying to partner with others, and hopefully someone who's listening to this, is that we'd like to train the communities how to build, in developing countries, how to build their own drones out of easily accessible materials such as plywood, and very simple to use and operate. So if they built them, they can maintain them and operate them for the long term. Because our rigging is 3D printed, it's also very easy to utilize and fix and adapt as needed. We actually have, where we've worked with others, where you actually can collect plastics from the site and utilize those plastics, convert those into the 3D filament as well. And from there, we're training on open source software and stitching software and analysis tools, so how to do that important and vital site selection, as well as the monitoring afterwards. So it's very data driven, but based on the community doing it themselves, most importantly. Training on the full planting methodology, and having community members as part of the entire process. It really is not taking community members out of the planting. Otherwise, if it was, it would be just a person there with the drone. So really communities, and it's essential, really essential, we can't say enough, because you're at such a large scale of restoration, that community members are essential throughout the entire methodology. So from the site selection and the work involved with that, to the seed collection, to the seed ball making, to the planting, and to the monitoring. So sometimes it's an additional, it can be seen as an additional income from it, rather than just providing seedlings. They have this income coming from being so valuable and essential as part of the planting process, and being part of that, so they're paid for their time. There's also a transference of skills where they can utilize the drones for other purposes afterwards as well during the rest of the year. And because it's such a short time, only 2 months, to be able to restore their areas, they also have more time for other livelihood sources that they want to work towards. And really important to me personally is that we involve women as part of it. So finding those community members that are women that enjoy tinkering or mechanically inclined is important to us. Exciting adventure and challenge for us. We've actually, from 2019 until today, you can see that we've actually increased from the test pilot of 2,000 seeds all the way to have just finished planting 1.4 million seeds here in our region, and currently contracted to plant another 2.5 minimum seeds next year. So it is growing and evolving. There's a lot of effort, and there's a lot of experience that we bring to the table, real world experience on the field. From an investment standpoint, we've run from 150,000 at the commencement to now over $2.7 million. So really, it's really gone phenomenally well from a project investment standpoint as well as from how many seeds we've been able to restore. From a success standpoint, and it's very important that all our processes are actually data-driven, so we have all the background data, all those high-level orthomosaics and monitoring afterwards, but it's about 40 to 45%. Natural regenerations, less than 5%, and they say traditional planting can be, if it's done well, about 50%. And so what's important here is that actually, because you're planting the seeds directly in the ground, it's also very stable. The seedlings we found have been very stable over the 3 years. And what happens with that other unsuccessful side is that we'll replenish the following year, and we replenish in the areas that have been doing very well. Again, that data-driven process is very important. So the replenishment rate brings up the number to whatever the initial agreement was. So we hope you found this very interesting, and we really would love to work with you and connect with you. Those like-minded angel investors, family offices, project investors, and community representatives that really want to make a difference in developing country community lives, where they become self-sufficient in the use of technology and building them so that they actually can maintain and operate this methodology and grow themselves, as well as really impact the environment. So really we're looking for, and we hope you'll find interest, those that it can be linked to carbon projects, but really more around CSR and community development responsibilities of any people out there. We're looking to support those that can help us support running projects in developing communities and upscaling them for the largest impact, so they can move from one community level to multiple community levels to regional levels, to support further development of our specialized builds, machine learning and methodologies, linking to your community representatives of developing countries that I know that you work within, and you do incredible work out there. I'm sure I've seen an incredible profile of people at the NOAH conference, so really links would be appreciated, and really support partnerships with those that you've also invested in before, so your profile, and really working with others so that we can expand and grow together and network together. So thank you so much. So here are my contact details, and thank you again for your time, and I hope to connect with you on the app, or please ping me anytime.